sharing their experience from tech leaders to tech leaders. This is CTO Talks.
Hello and welcome. This is CTO Talks. My name is Marcin Jabłonowski, and I have a pleasure to host tonight Serg Hospodarets, the Executive VP of Engineering at Finalsite. Hi, Serg. All right, so just before we delve into our main topic for tonight, could you say a few words about yourself? What do you do for a living?
Currently, it's exactly what you said. Yeah, I'm traveling the world and making sure engineering at Finalsite is pretty well, producing everything in the passion it needs. But my story is a bit started earlier. You know, I was born in Germany. When I was young, we moved to Ukraine. It gave me some perspectives. After that, I was traveling the world. It was post-Cyprus, a bit of different countries, last 10 years mainly Ireland. Yeah, in between it was a bit of months here and there in States and other places. And it gave me some perspectives. And essentially my career started, I would say, when I was playing with cassette computers when I was young, Altari and other parts. Later, it came to exploring UX design. For 3 months I was a designer. I'm a terrible designer. Yeah, just like so I decided that better other people will do it. They have passion, they have skills, they love it. And I'm not very capable, to be honest. Yeah. But, I decided that I'm very good in enabling, design. This was my first job. It was very smooth, front-end developer. After that, I started learning backend, databases. And at some point, I understood that my greatest power is to enable others and multiply skills together. Yeah. So by this days, I'm coding a lot. I love doing prototypes and demos in the nights. Yeah, it's my passion. And it was very, engineering leader-wise career. Technical leader, architect, director, head of engineering. At some point was head of product and engineering. And now it's executive VP of engineering. Typical story. So my manager is CTO, and I'm taking care about whole engineering of the company. Yeah, you need to run. We have offices across the world, so that's how it works.
Awesome. All right. So once in a while, there is some hype in technology that everyone speaks about. It gets to the front pages of all the newspapers, like the story with AI now. And what I'm hearing is that very often there is a pressure on IT executives onto adopting certain, hyping technologies. And, you must have been through this as well. So how not to get crazy with this pressure, yes? And how to deal with this kind of external pressure on, your boss says, hey, there's this ChatGPT thing, just let's apply it somewhere because I know marketing asks us to be able, to say that we are using AI.
Mm-hmm. When you a bit at the beginning of your career, the thing that, at the top level, they exactly know everything, right? Yes, of course, they just they do, but very often they also in the research, yeah? So when typically such hypes comes, like might be blockchain, it can be some technologies depending on the people, yeah, AI these days. It was immediately, we need to do it immediately, right? So your CEO, your CTO saying you must do it as fast as possible, right? Translate the message properly. You need to be a smart person because you are next in the chain, yeah? Before it goes to engineering, you just do somehow, good luck. You need to translate this message. What does it mean? We need to find the way to enable this in the way which will benefit business. Typically, it's some competitive advantage or business opportunities. Yeah, only then it comes to engineering properly. Yeah, what does it mean? Typically, for example, story how we did this. It was a combination. Head of product started looking into the opportunities. Yeah, I put a few with my SWAT team, Tiger team, if you wish. Just like typically, we take for a few nights together and we create a few demos. Yeah, a few POC. Okay, we can do text generation, we can do image generation, we can do summarization, and then it was okay. Let's meet together. Yeah, executives and smaller group. When you present, take a look. This is potential product opportunities. This is potential engineering capabilities. Demos, nothing better. It's super simple demos and ideas. You start putting the list what is easy, what is harder, what is impossible from technology perspective, then from product perspective, and you need somebody from marketing and business who will start saying the best if it's CO and you know how to speak with them. Then you start speaking. Where is better to start moving?
So just navigating into the right direction.
Correct.
All right, but what you said is you first of all you have a team capable of let's say, because all the hypes are all about some kind of innovation, in great majority of cases. So you need to have a team capable of exploring the area, and you need to have some kind of knowledge yourself. What happens, or how to deal with the situation where you have no clue about the next thing, the innovation, whether it's blockchain, AI, and you have no research or tiger team, SWAT team, to be able to deal with this kind of thing. What would be the next step you would make?
Let's retrospect, for example, my case, because it will answer your questions. In February, when it was a lot of AI hype, just like going bigger and bigger and bigger, I was in the middle between I was taking my leave traveling Asia. So I was traveling, it was Thailand for a while, then it was idea I was going to South Korea, Japan. So it was myself and my wife. No team, nothing. I was not part of the company, nothing. And my friend, who happened to be my manager, just like told me, okay, what about AI? What do you have some ideas? And I had no team, I had no knowledge about AI, so it was forever. I heard there is something about this ChatGPT. I was on my vacation, if you wish, but I love to explore things, right? So first of all, I spent around 4 days learning about so I know data principles, data models. So I thought that this is the key. Yes, but it's a long path. So similar, like, you can go take an axe and go to the wood to take the tree and yada yada, or you can go to IKEA and buy, flat packed, a chair and just put it together. So you need something faster. It was like, okay, you need something else. I started exploring tools, and it was plenty already. It was Jasper, it was OpenAI, and other parts. I asked, okay, give me some ideas what you need. Meanwhile, I created a few demos, art of possible, if you wish. I found I'm very proficient. For example, my best proficiency around Node.js and JavaScript. So I created some demo very fast. And essentially I created a demo over 2 nights or something, when my wife allowed me after the traveling a bit to stay actually in coding. So even if you don't know, but you have a bit of technical skills, you yourself can be a manpower. All together. Just like I had no team, I had no knowledge whatsoever, but I created very fast because you have available OpenAI. It costed me altogether 3 cents. All the demo.
And what did you prototype? Was there any
still
specific case you were trying to deal with, or?
It's still up and running. So first prototype was very simple.
Or with a showcase of capabilities of AI in general, which can be.
I have even a story about this. So take a look. My idea was the typical AI capabilities, which are very useful and well known. Generation. So for example, text generation, image generation based on simple inputs. Small inputs of text, prompt engineering, so-called. It can do image generation, it can do summarization, very capable. It also can do many just like processing, and you can fine-tune this and make this learn on documents. But this is a bit harder topics. The most easy and understandable is, I'm sorry, ChatGPT case. You're saying something, it just like answer, but let's put this a bit smarter. So my idea was like Finalsite, making software for schools. In school, what do you have, especially in the United States? Let's say snow day, the school tomorrow is closed, or bus is late. 2 pieces. Let's take something simple. Take 2, maximum 3, not more. So it was like, okay, I will put a drop down where you can just like choose these 2 things, and it will generate like emails or SMS text. That's it. It was so simple.
So it's just yet another tool to digest, right?
Yes.
What you're saying.
The funniest story is that I literally, like, they have an API. Similar as you speak to ChatGPT, you can call this from your service. Can be Python, can be Node.js. Literally, I'm not kidding. I had a flight from Thailand to South Korea. No, from South Korea to India. And literally on the height of 10 kilometers, it started to work. I'm not kidding. I was shouting as a baby. And I even have a photo of the guy who woke up, asked me what's happening, and he was, bright with me to see it really worked. I was like a child. The first time you see this and it's literally typing, you're like, I'm not kidding. It takes you. But you need to see this process of typing. Then you
Okay, so you were saying about finding like a business cases to adopt it, right? I assume it has something to do with like building a value or something that you can or the company can monetize afterwards. How about a case that I stumbled upon recently? Yeah, you are being asked by, let's say, someone from C-level, CEO or whoever, hey, we need to have an eye because I need to brag about this in media or with my friends at some conference. Yeah, so yeah, what would you do in this case?
Typically, you always need to interpret executives when it's. Remember difference between, for example, Westworld and Asia. Very often, I'm sorry, don't be offended if somebody, but yeah, in West you say, okay, it's raining. I need the code. Can you give me code?
Yeah.
This code, please. It's information. Steps. Yeah. In Asia, it's a bit different very often. Yeah. Oh, it's a funny weather today. And you need to interpret this properly to understand that it's a hint and you need to be, tentative and yada, yada, yada. So similarly, when executives saying something, it means something, but you need to properly translate.
Get to the roots of the
they
thinking.
literally want to tweet and promote something for the business reasons of their companies because they have their report. CEO is not the main guy in the world because there is always some investors or boards. They are very important. They are on the company. But they also have a role in their. They have their goals and yada. Their goal to tweet about something business enabling, create also. Good hype for business to opportunity. Yada.
Sure.
They're asking you create. You're a technical guy. Typically, it's product. As for example, in my case, it means both. Yeah, if I hear in this, it's like find a business opportunity and enable this by product feature or product, which you can implement easily. That's usual. And then good luck. You need to find a way.
Probably what you're saying is just the cheapest way to achieve I would say in this case a marketing result.
I would say it's Pareto rule hype. Pareto rule 2080 hype. Pareto rule hype, I call this. It's my interpretation of this. Yes. So typically with AI, it's very usual. Before you come to the proper implementations, you find in Pareto rule hype and you're done. Yeah. Then you just implement something. Similar as we did. The demo which I told you recently went into production at Finalsite when it generates emails. It takes a while, but after you do this once, you have all the plumbings, and then it's just like much faster because you have people agree with the idea, people know technology, much less effort to it. Yeah.
All right. So assuming that the decision has been made, the prototyping phase is already done. Now, there is a business decision to go for a certain business case and adopt AI. Yeah. So whatever that means, assuming that there was no a dedicated ML or data science team in the company. Yeah. What's next?
Oh, now it starts very interesting. If product decision already made that we're doing this particular feature, when it goes towards engineering, it's simple. You need to decide on it's a funny combinations. Yeah. If you're a developer, you think about technology case. Which API or tool will help you to deliver this feature? Yeah. This is typically architecture thinking. You as a part of engineering executive is to think about vendor. You need some vendor to pay to, or you need some business partnership if you want more features from them. So typically, if you find some cheap version which you can use today, even it's already it's typical build versus buy.
Exactly.
Usual story, more or less. Yeah, that's where you're doing a bit of best case. You have a team. You put in a team on, let's say, MVP of feature. Yeah, research for a week, and they will give you some details. If you don't have a team, again, just like start doing the work yourself and find the way.
But before we go further, what would be the like key decision factors that would impact the decision whether to buy or build?
Okay, so take a look. Let's retrospective AI case. Yeah, you have Vertex and Microsoft. Vertex is Google, Microsoft giving you their solutions. Yeah, if you're using their cloud, maybe you're already done. You're just using their solutions. There is also one of the best things like Midjourney, but they don't have API. You cannot use it except there is Hacky API, which is I think it's illegal, to be honest. Yeah, it's not their API, it's illegal API.
Yeah, it's a wrapper probably.
Yes. So here you need to find literally what works. In AI world, that time it was OpenAI API available. Yeah, it's already there. You can use it. Jasper didn't have an API they have now, but still in beta. And as usual, hype. There is a few opportunities. Some of them you need to find reliable, secure, and also something you expect to have features you need with a bit of your area, right? It's a combination, and also Pareto rule where you can achieve something. That's my favorites. Typically, I'm sorry, at this point it's OpenAI API because it's available. It covers a lot of cases, and LangChain because it LangChain allows you to work with Python, with Node.js, and it allows you all the tools like remember the answers, think about morale aspect. It just literally, if there is prompt from users, it will just like literally polish the answers and inputs and many other things. Yeah. So you find your chain or based on combination technology, how good you and trust you and reliable is solution vendor itself, and also architecture, of course, and product. So this is your combination of weights and scales, to be honest. Yeah. Typically people are biased, and this is good when they just like speak together, but when it's a fight you need to step in and a bit like disagree but commit and a bit show the direction. Usual story.
Okay, so now specifically maybe AI, but I believe it applies to any kind of hype or innovation. Yeah, so there are no free lunches. Every silver bullet comes with some downsides or risks. Yeah, and so how do you manage the risk in a way that's compliant with the company's policies, right?
Yes. Anytime.
How do you identify them? And
so
and we had the cases with AI itself. There is a huge conversation around LLMs, right? And safety and security concerns around it.
So let's deconstruct it. Famous story. You worked at Samsung. You know what happened in Korea. Yeah. So when you adopt company-wide AI, like use ChatGPT, everyone, what happened in Samsung? Everyone started using, and then their secrets left the company. It costed them, together with reputation losses, approximately $20 million. Yeah, a lot. Famous story. So you need to be conscious about data leaks by usage when you're using it, just like data leaks by exposure. So when you imagine there is a search which exposure, you can ask, okay, let's come to the Finalsite world. Imagine your child going to school and you have a school site and you can ask about the grades of your child. But what if you start asking special data about other child? And imagine you can ask Google about all emails of Elon Musk or something like this. So it's a bit of crazy, yeah? You need to cover the data parts. The most funny risk, what I've seen, to be honest, when prompt engineering, remember SQL injections. When you literally put this in the code and execute, good luck. Such stuff will happen. You will never.
There was a story in Poland about someone ordering a registration plate for a car with some SQL injection. No, it was a company name. It was a company name with some SQL injection in the name.
Oi.
Yeah,
they
really,
went so
and it was
so smart.
It was like drop database users.
Drop data table, something like this.
Exactly.
Drop table. Yeah.
Drop table users. And it was like, I think it didn't break anything. at least it wasn't public, but it was a funny story.
It's always something like this, yeah. So in our cases, it was this, thinking about prompt engineering. I heard stories, for example, I know from Algolia they had use cases. What it was? In the search, you wouldn't believe. In the search, somebody had complaints, not somebody, a lot of people, about morale aspects of answers of AI in the search. So imagine this Algolia provided search. I have no idea how it happened, but something happening there. About morale, many people has perspective. It's a hype.
All right. So how to deal with that? Yeah, how to manage this kind of risk? Especially, there is like large corporations nowadays because they are risk averse. They would just block, for instance, ChatGPT by default in their networks, right? But how to identify and deal with this kind of risks?
It's your life. Yeah, I mean, in good sense, follow your principles. If you have principles, don't ever. If you once will stretch your principles, bad things will happen. You see what happens with the country, and just like there is one country next to us actually fighting with another country, saying that everything is good. They went with principles, stretching too much. Never do this. So once, if you think it's wrong, most of all it's wrong. Yeah. So similar. It's very hard to define where is morale. Remember famous story? Let's have a bit of fun. Yeah. In the United States, it was a famous nudity discussion in the court. Yeah. And when the judge needed to define, I'm sorry, whether it's pornographic in materials or no, his answer was like, when I see it, I know it. Yeah. So be honest with yourself. There is only one person you cannot bullshit in the world. It's yourself. If you think something's wrong, it's wrong. And then, of course, make sure that you're using technology. Again, just like there is billion Python scripts, there is a long chain of options to make morale filters at least a bit, at least automate these parts. Think about this. Be careful.
So I believe it's not only about like following your principles, but also like the company's policies and procedures, right?
Yeah, it identifies your identity. Morale also depends on the country, on the race, and yada, but there is some humanity principles. Yeah. And you are the bad judge, and when it's just like many people involved, this is better and better. Yeah. Technology should follow the business cases, users, and morale, of course. It should be there, part of the picture.
So there is one side question, maybe not directly related. You mentioned, like, especially with the case of ChatGPT, this kind of new role popping up called prompt engineering, right? Yes. So now I'm thinking it's a new role. Do you think it should be like a part of the engineering team, given the name, or it should be like a business role? Yeah, because like I remember very often just before, let's say, ML was like a thing, there were many companies where actually it was business first experimenting and prototyping with ML. Especially I worked at insurance, so this was like underwriters and pricing departments. So they just got data as a service provided by IT, but they were playing with ML on their own. Yeah. So now with prompt engineering, should it be like an IT function, or a part of IT function, or it should be taken care by business, and maybe IT should just create a platform to enable that?
The no approach of S3 in Google at scale, more or less. So they combined best practices of DevOps and S3. I mean, just like maybe it's not what's called whole the company, but larger part, as per my knowledge, from everything I know. So, for example, S3 there is a big function, but when you start with some product or some team, you more or less have the platform tooling, which is self-service, where you can just like use yourself.
Exactly.
And it's built into the culture to think about operational part. You know that for now you on yourself, and this is the principle, this is the framework, it's well documented, and it's at scale, right? So first, they always enabling this, you build your own it, yeah? And when it comes post MVP and to customers, at some point team will be so stretched it's impossible to cover anymore. Yeah. Then they go to S3, they discuss SLO, SLI, SLA, and then they pass this under S3. And this comes with the, just like friends and benefits, because I'm sorry guys, there's no other way. Yeah, using our platform, we helping you to produce, and this works at scale. So they have both DevOps and S3. This is when you have the scale. Here I think it's something similar. You need to find the way when prompt engineering just like built into the culture, but having this as a title can be a role maybe, but title is too much.
However, when ChatGPT got like really hot in the market, there were like a lot of job ads with this kind of name of the role, right? Which was exactly prompt engineer.
Do you remember many years ago it was milk delivery guys? It disappeared. So I recently searched for this. It went down last months.
So what's mostly likely going to happen? I believe it's everyone will be a prompt engineer. Probably.
It might be. Imagine you use your business case and your company exclusively deliver products on prompt engineering, and maybe you need this. It sounds funny, but this is very special case. Special cases always must be special for different reasons. We as a humanity need to raise. Yeah, this will stay, but most of all, my prediction, I can be wrong, but it will go down similar as we see previous months. 10 times less than in 3 months, it went 10 times down. For good or bad. And LinkedIn, you can find this data.
Okay. All right. So I was just thinking maybe you could also briefly touch another hype, but that's probably not a hype anymore. You know, hype adoption curve.
Yes. When you have tilting point.
Exactly. With LLM, we are probably somewhere at the peak, right?
Yeah.
With LLMs and ChatGPT. But a few years back, a very hot topic, you briefly mentioned it, blockchain. Yeah. Where do you think we are with blockchain now? At the hype adoption curve.
My best friend in the world is my wife, and there's like never speak about blockchain when she's around. Yeah, she used to be my accountant, and she has a very strong opinion on this. Yeah, of course, I'm biased a bit by her opinion because I learned a lot about economy from many people, but a lot from her and other parts. Idea of having the spread network of independent users, peers is incredibly powerful and beautiful, I would say. I would really say it's beautiful, yeah. Also to make this transparent, this account books and everything beautiful. Also the first implementations ideas though still very strong. They came to cryptocurrency hashes. I really love this piece of technology. It came to whole languages like here Java, JavaScript, error. It's really something we never did before because there was no need. And here it is. Yeah, lovely. We always need this. Now we can use this at the scale. But then it went somehow wrong. Yeah. The nature of the industry, where it's everything about money, looks like started torturing and affecting people who were involved in blockchain. At some point, it's just, I'm sorry, it's in my opinion, something went wrong. So it became a bit unreliable, and it was always something bad happening, bad hype. And honestly, for me, myself, if you invest in Google or anything, you have some guarantees, but at least it's transparent to some extent. What is their strategy? They're obligated to share their product strategies. They must share their ideas. Of course, there is many scales and wages, but when it's complete pandemonium, it's maybe possible, but I believe human nature should be changed to be ready for this. So problem is not technology, I think. Yeah. So human nature was not ready for this. That's why it's my opinion again. It's just like on adoption curve, it went here and then a bit down back.
And I think it was against. It would hurt many impactful and powerful
businesses and countries, yes, and that was their enemy. They killed it. I mean, not killed it. I apologize.
But this was. I think this is about cryptocurrencies, yeah. But how about other use cases? I remember when the hype was there, someone was saying, "Hey, let's use blockchain for video streaming," yeah, which is at first sight it was ridiculous, and
You can, but why would you?
exactly. So
You
that's
can, you know,
that's
just
the
like
question.
there is a famous there is in every country, like in Germany, in United States, in India, as per my awareness, even just like in Tamil, I know this part of this language. I recently spent some time. There is different way to explain what you can do, and for example, in Ukraine, I love this way of saying you can take the microscope and just like start putting the nails, like, instead of hammer, use the microscope. You can, it will work, but maybe you just like break both things. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, but you can.
Okay, so do you think there are many other cases you can use blockchain, if for business purposes that are still there, or this hype is dead and it's cryptocurrencies only now?
BitTorrent has similar ideas.
Ideas
are the same, and honestly, I don't see the harm except when it goes to pirates. I mean, just like BitTorrent itself is a good idea, but unfortunately, 99% it's pirate content. Also, spreading data. For example, we came to cloud by this idea. Take a look. Yeah, previously it was your machine. Now it's machine somewhere. Correct. We can find the good use case. I'm more than sure. I just didn't think about this similar as most of all when So take a look. What I love. Can answer in just like very, let's say, my way. I'm European in my heart. Yeah, I love European style of life. Literally, it's very different. But what I appreciate in the United States, they think about opportunity and they have their all their ideas and I want to learn this. I appreciate this a lot. I literally want to learn this. Similar here, as only there will be some opportunity and not against business and everything, it will spread. I'm not kidding. Recently, I was in the taxi, and yesterday I was in the taxi because I was visiting dentist, and I was thinking, why dentists still don't have the small cameras to see exactly everything in your teeth instead of watching
the mirror,
because it can be misused. So until it will be understood, and so AI can be misused, and it was. Remember for around 3 weeks, 1 month, it was complete blocker from everyone.
All these exploits,
and
hacking.
Then it's still bypassed.
Social hacking.
And here just, businesses plus misuse just stopped it. Something should be changed. As long as there is opportunity and the clear, great way, let's say great in the minds of some people with power and without power. Yeah.
Okay.
So I hope so.
Blockchain is not that yet.
It's not. It's not. It's just early in adoption. There might be still a good opportunity, but it should have necessity is mother of invention. Yeah? It should have clear necessity. So if some country at scale will do it, or I don't know, typically European Union doing this like GDPR, and most of all, just it becomes principle across. Something should happen. Similar to I remember, ChatGPT is this. So something should happen. Yeah.
All right, so slowly wrapping things up. Your final note for anyone like in IT decision-making role, some final conclusion you would or advice you would give to anyone?
For whole our discussion or just
whole our discussion? How blockchain aside, everything we discussed about hypes, adopting, how to deal with this in such a role and the pressure and because it comes in waves. Yeah, every few years you've got something.
Do what you love. You will be successful. This is my, mantra across whole my life. Yeah, I'll be honest. Yeah, that's why I switched from UI to front end, and then just find my path as a manager. That's the only way you will be successful. Every company has their why. Yeah, you can read the famous book of Simon Sinek and just read what it means. You have the identity. Yeah, you as a company decide what hype makes sense and make sure it's helpful to strive your business, and then it will be successful. If you push in something that doesn't make sense, everyone knows. Yeah, everyone knows what you're doing. You sometimes doing similar as myself, similar as many of us, something for yourself, and it's a bit stupid. We know this. You know exactly that you have this spidey feeling. You're doing something wrong, but you still do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's 90% harm somebody. You just don't know who. Yeah. So my suggestion here: be careful and smart what you're doing, and this people will appreciate it. and this will strive. Yeah.
All right, sounds great. All right, with that note, many thanks for coming over and having the conversation with me. So I hope we meet again.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Cheers.
thanks.
Sharing their experience from tech leaders to tech leaders. This is CTO Talks.